Hey guys, hello. We were having a very, very bad technical night tonight. Discord, the mic, nothing was working on Discord, so we had to kill Discord for tonight, or 86 it as we say. Let me get everything else going here. Oops, all right, let me get my, oops, where's my Substack? Substack, where are you hiding? Here it is. There's Substack. Sorry, Substack. We were having technical difficulties on Discord tonight, so I had to deal with that for the last 10 minutes. All right. Well, it's too bad for Discord. No Discord. No Discord. I mean, yeah, no Discord. Substack at least worked. Anyway, and now I've got to set up TikTok because I've been sitting here with, basically, it just wasn't working. We couldn't get my, even my computer camera wasn't working on Discord, which means Discord was having some weird, God knows what thing. Yeah, sorry, Bryce. There's no way to keep all that straight. I just, there's, the different services won't talk to each other, and like, it's just, there's no, sorry about that. All right, let me get TikTok going and then we're done. Like I said, today was a very bad technical day of things not working, so sorry about that. Where's my, all right, 1 second here. All right, live. Can't turn up the volume. No, well, here's the problem. Okay, guys, the problem we're having is, before I even start TikTok, the volume is now so loud on TikTok that it's blowing out and sounding horrific. Something happened, maybe it's using StreamYard, that I was gonna say, you see the volume's fine for you. Is the volume fine for you, Amanda? Because the volume is having to be so high now for the YouTubers that it's blowing everything else out. It's way too loud for everything else, like way too loud. And I don't know why. I've still got the volume louder than it used to be. It may be because I'm using StreamYard, the service to stream now is screwing it up. Now let me try one thing before I even start on TikTok. Let me turn off that auto adjust of the volume. All right, let's try this now. Now, how is this compared to what it was? Is that any different than it was a second ago? I just tried to turn it up, but I don't know if it made any difference. No, how is this versus 30 seconds ago? That's what I need to know. Is this any different? Is this louder? Okay, you know, then I'm gonna leave this way because we had it on automatic adjust before. And automatic adjust, I don't know if maybe automatic adjust wasn't adjusting enough or maybe it was taking too long. I don't know. But massive echo, there shouldn't be any echo. No, I doubt anybody else has an echo. Anybody else have an echo? I can't imagine anybody else has an echo. I can turn on the echo thing, but this mic should not. First of all, wait a minute. First of all, is my mic actually working? Hello, 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 hello. Okay, you are hearing me via my mic though, right? Just making sure of that. No echo. Okay, and Substack, sounding okay for you guys? Volume is fine on Substack. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is good enough. Let's try, because I did have to, again, the mic used to be softer, but I think StreamYard, which I used to stream to a bunch of you guys at once, I think it somehow is deadening it a little bit. All right, let me get TikTok working here. Sorry, like today, that Discord thing threw me because Discord, I couldn't get any video and any audio to work at all on Discord. So we were sitting the first 10 minutes doing that, going, ah! All right, let me, I need a title. What freaking, oh, Trump's fascism. That works for TikTok. All right, oh geez, I hate TikTok. God, everything is designed on TikTok to not work. I swear to God. There we go. All right, sorry guys. 1 second here. Well, hopefully that is better. That's interesting. Okay, well, I turned off the automatic thing. Now let's see, hopefully on TikTok it's not too loud still because I still have this, well, this is only a touch louder than I used to do back in the day, as we say. So hopefully it's good enough. Hang on. Amanda, you guys can let me know on TikTok if it's any better. The weird thing is that even when you guys thought this wasn't loud enough on YouTube, I just went and listened to the YouTube recordings and they're really loud. Like the YouTube recording was actually, I would say, a little too loud at full blast. So God only knows what's going on. Anyway. Oh, it wouldn't be a fun day if things weren't, you know, crazy here. All right. All right. I'm going live on TikTok. Oh my God. So much craziness. Ah! All right. All right. We're done. We're live. I'm live on everything almost. TikTok is live. Substack's live. Discord, YouTube, Discord isn't. Everything else is fine. Welcome, TikTok. Sorry, we had technical difficulties today. We had technical difficulties today, so sorry about that. I'm back. I'm back. No, there were just lots of technical problems today that might be better. I had to adjust my microphone for YouTube and everything. Substack wasn't working at all today. No, not Substack. I'm sorry. Substack was okay. Discord was not working at all. Then YouTube, my mic wasn't loud enough. TikTok, my mic was too loud. Except now I adjusted it down, so hopefully now my mic on TikTok is good. The mic was like too hot before. So anyway, I'm hoping things are better. Anyway, all right. Anyway, welcome guys. John Arvoz is here. This was very difficult, very annoyingly difficult today. Anyway, Manda or somebody else, if you want to help people on YouTube figure out, well, there's nothing to figure out, I guess. Thank you, Sadie, for the perfume gift. Anyway, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Anyway, so welcome guys. John Arvoz is here. We got a lot of news today. Not a ton of, actually, there is a ton of bad news today. There is a ton of bad news today. It's a bad news day. It is a very, very, very bad news day. Oop, I'm going to wipe my iPad. There we go, a little better. The lights above me were doing that starlight thing for me touching the iPad. TikTok is live. You need to either refresh the app or refresh the page or something. It's very live. It's very live. TikTok does it sometimes, but basically on TikTok, sometimes when you try to go live, it doesn't show me live, and you've got to either, I don't know if you can refresh the screen or close the app and come back and then it'll show it. No, it's okay. It does that sometimes though. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. It's, or close YouTube and come back. That may not be a terrible idea. Anyway, everybody else I need to know at least the overwhelming majority on YouTube and Substack can hear okay. Facebook as well, right? Just let me know that. Although Unsweetened Auntie is saying Substack is iffy. I don't know what that means. TikTok is always good because TikTok is sort of a different connection. Well, I shouldn't say that TikTok I just turned down because TikTok was so loud that Amanda said it was like breaking eardrums. Okay. If it's good for the majority, okay, Twitch as well. Thanks, Amanda. If it's good for the majority of people, that's the best I can do. Sorry, kind. I also think, unfortunately, different computers may be treating this differently. Oh, thank you, Bowie. Cute little dog. Oh, that's a cute little doggy. Thank you, Jungle Cooper. God only knows what Jungle Cooper is, but thank you for that. Okay, car horn going off? No. There is no car horn. Literally, it is peaceful in my apartment. Absolutely peaceful. So you're definitely not hearing that here. So welcome, guys. We have a lot of horrible news today. Sorry, I started late today because we were having technical difficulties. Substack wasn't working. YouTube volume was being bad. I changed a switch that in principle should be better now. But anyway, if you're on YouTube, turn it up to max because we're also having a problem where YouTube is never loud enough. But to get it loud enough on YouTube, it blows out TikTok. So anyway, let's leave it go now. Anybody has questions about the sound, somebody else weigh in and fill them in. We're ready. Phew. So horrible. Guys, today has been a horrible news day as far as for democracy in America. I've got to tell you. Let me start with this. Actually, well, let me start really quick by saying welcome, everybody. This is my show. I appreciate you supporting me and being here today on TikTok or YouTube. Definitely hit that like button or the screen on TikTok. You know how this works. Your gifts are very much welcome as well, TikTok, YouTube, but also the monthly supporters on everywhere because I do this for a living, so thank you for that. But let me go here. Yeah, God only, I don't know what the fuck that means. People are whatever. So Comey indictment, horrific today, the Comey stuff. The Comey stuff, Donald Trump has indicted yet again the former FBI director. The former FBI director that Donald Trump got elected. Remember, excuse me, the former FBI director who got Donald Trump elected. Remember Comey was the guy who did all the bullshit with Hillary. Remember that? did all the bullshit with Hillary, where he made Hillary lose. He did all the stuff that was violating FBI rules, the investigations right before the election you're not allowed to do. 10 days before the election, he reopened his investigation, which was a violation of FBI rules. You can't do it. And then once Hillary plummeted in the polls, the day before the election, he said, oh, well, we didn't find anything. She's okay. And it was like, really? Really? That's Comey. So Comey's the guy who got Trump elected, but he had, I forgot even what it was, some of the Russia investigation stuff, and Comey ended up being a big critic of Trump. Comey was a huge critic of Trump, which frankly every normal human being is. So what did Trump do? Well, James Comey, former FBI director, criticized Donald Trump, so Donald Trump decided he was going to throw James Comey in jail, as authoritarian dictators do. So Trump, first of all, got Comey indicted on two charges of lying to Congress. They were bullshit. The judge threw them out. Literally, day one of the case, the judge threw out the indictments of James Comey. So what did Trump do? He ordered, and by the way, totally a violation of every democratic norm, having Trump order the FBI to throw his political enemies in prison. Thank you, Cricket. Total violation. It does not happen in America. Richard Nixon may have done this. No other president that I can think of in American history has done this, what Donald Trump did, ordering the FBI to go after his political enemies. Democrats didn't do it. Republicans didn't do it. This is not done. Ronald Reagan didn't do it. George Bush didn't do it. Other George Bush didn't do it. You don't do this. Neither Republicans nor Democrats do this. Donald Trump is. So today, and this is absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry, but it is hilarious, but it is dangerous as hell. The only reason I say funny, at least, is there's no way that this case is going to go anywhere. But Donald Trump got James Comey, his political enemy, indicted today for Instagramming a picture of seashells. They're trying to, and they said, we've been investigating for 10 months, a very serious 10-month investigation. He can go to prison for 10 years for publishing a photo of seashells he saw on the beach. This is the photo of seashells that James Comey saw on the beach. For you guys, it's a little bright. Oh, there we go. There we go, for TikTok. It says 8647, and it was something he saw on the beach. 47 is a slang term that Republicans tend to use more than Democrats, really. But it's a slang term for Trump. He's the 47th president of the United States, right? That's how they do it. I found, for me at least, Democrats tend not to refer to their presidents by the number. Republicans call Bush, George Bush first was 41. George Bush II was 43. Donald Trump is 45 and 47. That's just what they do. So it says, and I'll show you again, the picture on the beach that Comey, I should say the shells on the beach, showed the number 86. It looks like S, 8647. 47 is Trump. 86 is American slang that means get rid of it. That's all it means. It is, I was talking to a friend about this today. My suspicion is it's possibly more intellectual slang potentially. I don't know. Now, I am not a very blue-collar, working-class kind of guy, so I don't know. I am not convinced that 86 is blue-collar slang. I think it's somewhat intellectual slang, I think. Because if I were trying to, I would never use the expression 86 it, but if I were familiar with the term 86, I would think of it in a business setting, where basically you'd be going over a memo and you'd say, you know what, point number 2, 86 that. It's not a good idea. I don't think the boss is going to like it. Actually, you're right. Cooking. You're right. Cooking. It's a food. Oh, it is food service slang. You're right. You're right. It is food service. 86 number. Burp, burp, burp. Bottom line is used in the Army. Okay, so it is more ubiquitous than I even thought. I wasn't sure if it was just sort of used in a workplace or whatever. So it's pretty ubiquitous American slang, and it means strike that, remove it, get rid of it. Deep six is something else. Deep six is something. Now, deep six does mean like kill or whatever. Although deep six could still, it doesn't matter. 86. So 86 means get rid of it. Trump just got Comey indicted for this being an assassination threat against the President of the United States, the seashells. He's claiming the seashells are an assassination threat against the president worth 10 years in prison. They spent 10 months of First of all, what the hell did it take the FBI 10 months to investigate some seashells on a beach? I mean, how hard is it to investigate the seashells on the beach? Really? I mean, really? Like, what do you have to do? Go to the beach and see if you can find the seashells? I mean, like, right? I don't even understand what that means. Like, what does that even mean? 10 months they investigated the seashells. So they investigated him. They indicted him today, and they said, this was a threat against the President of the United States. Now, it's literally not. I didn't even realize until somebody on on TikTok today, somebody in the comments said, Comey didn't even put the shells there. And I looked again at the original story, and basically Comey even said, he posted the photo and he said, oh, came across this on the beach today. So Comey didn't even do the shells. He posted the picture. Of course, the Trump people at the time, oh my God, it's a death threat, oh my God, because this is what they do, right? They don't want to focus on inflation. They don't want to solve they don't want to solve any wars. They just want to declare war. They don't want to focus on the economy. They don't want to focus on inflation. So they basically freak people out on, oh my God, it's a death threat. This is what they do. It's what they're doing today again, right? The ballroom bullshit. This is what they do. I mean, should it be protected free speech? It is protected free speech. The second thing is, it is and it's not. It is not protected free speech. It is. That's a good question, actually. That's a good question. Even if it were, and I've got to be careful even how I say it because we don't live in a democracy anymore. But even if it were a call for, even if it were intended to mean death, right? I don't know that it would be illegal. It might not be. You would get investigated because the Secret Service investigates every threat. So if you were to say that you wanted that person to die, see, I've got to be careful how I say it, right? But if you were to say you wanted that person to die, the FBI would investigate you. They'd come, Secret Service would come to your door and that kind of stuff. I don't think it's a crime, though. I'm going to ask ChatGPT, even though ChatGPT is not the total expert on the law here, but let's see. Hey, boyfriend, I've got a legal question for you. I want you to put on a legal hat, think of yourself as a lawyer, and I want you to do some research on this, and you should be able to find articles on this before you give me an answer. But you're probably familiar with this controversy of James Comey, former FBI director, posting a picture on Instagram showing some seashells spelling out 86 and 47. And Trump is claiming it was a death threat because 86 is to kill and this kind of stuff. And they just indicted Comey today on threatening to kill the president or something. Here's my question for you. What does the law say? Let's pretend, against ridiculousness, that 86 means to kill, right? Let's pretend that Comey meant it, kill him. Would that be a crime when it concerns the president of the United States if you were to post a public message like that? I guess it would be considered a call to kill him, and is that a crime? I think it might be. It's not First Amendment, right? I don't think it's First Amendment.
Threatening the President of the United States is indeed a federal crime. Under U.S. law, it's illegal to knowingly and willfully make a threat to kill or harm the President, the Vice President, or others in the line of succession, even if it's not intended to be carried out.
Okay, that wasn't my question. What they're alleging here is not that he made a threat to kill someone. They're alleging that he posted a call to kill someone, saying, in other words, 86 something, let's kill something. Would that be a crime?
Under U.S. law, directly threatening to kill the president or conspiring to do so is a crime. Making a threat is covered under one statute, while conspiring or attempting assassination falls under another.
That's not my question. I'm sorry. I want you to be really more precise here, okay? I want you to operate as a lawyer. My question was not if somebody makes a threat. My question was if somebody says they think that person should be killed. That's your fact pattern. Would that be a crime? I'm a lawyer, but I don't know the law.
Under U.S. law, simply advocating that someone should be killed without more is usually protected by the First Amendment. However, if the speech is directed to inciting imminent lawless action and is likely to produce it, then it could be a crime.
Correct. What if the person this is directed towards or about is the President of the United States? That's the question. We'll quit after this.
When it comes to the president, U.S. law makes it a crime to knowingly and willfully make a threat to kill or harm them, with penalties up to 5 years in prison. However, just saying that someone should be killed without inciting imminent violence is usually protected speech.
See, this is what I was trying to get at. Now, granted, ChatGPT is not always right, sorry, so I'm going to put it out there. But that's the thing. There's two things going on. One is the president. There are special laws covering the president of the United States. So there's some things that you might be able to say about other people that you can't say about the president. For example, in this case, the problem is in this case, and I know a number of you guys have been commenting while I was getting the answer here. 86 does not mean to kill. We know that. What I was saying, I'm a lawyer. The way to debunk this is to say, well, okay, let's pretend it does mean to kill. Even if it does mean to kill, is it a crime to say someone should kill that person? I'm not going to name who because, again, I don't want the quotes out there, right? Let's pretend. If under the law, saying someone should kill that person is not a crime, then it's really not a crime if 86 doesn't even mean kill, right? That's my point. And I'm not convinced, even if the word means what they say it means, and I don't think it does, even if those numbers mean that, I'm not convinced it's a crime because typically under American law, it has to be an imminent crime. It has to be, for example, you're standing on the street corner at a rally, and there's a policeman, and you say, "Hey, everybody, let's this policeman," right? That's a imminent call to action. That's not a general expression of you think policemen should be. I'm not going to use the word because I really don't want to be saying these things, right? You think policemen should be. You're saying that policeman right now, let's get him. That's a call for violence. That's different. That's different than expressing a desire that people you don't like expire. That's the point. The only question would be if, when referring to the President of the United States, the law is any different. That's the question. Why post the picture? Because it's funny. If the picture does not mean death, then it's funny because the picture says 8647. First of all, it's punny. Because it's 47, it's 86. Because you're using a number for the president, you're using a number to say, get rid of him, right? It's funny, and it is funny on its face. That's why you say it. Because if it doesn't mean kill, then why wouldn't you use it, right? Bottom line, it's Agent 86. Oh my God, that's hilarious, Justin. I don't think it means Agent 86, but that's very funny. Guys, they spent 10 months investigating the seashells. 10 months. Quite literally, how long does it take to investigate a seashell? I mean, I feel like this is like a Zen discussion. Like I'm Russell Brand. How long does it take to investigate a seashell? Right? Like, ooh, that's very deep, right? Except that literally, we're not talking about something deep. We're talking about how long does it take to investigate a literal seashell. It takes 1 minute. Right? They got a jury to indict him. Now, I think I know why they got the jury to indict, the grand jury, because Tricia McLaughlin, remember Tricia McLaughlin, the 27-year-old really nasty woman who used to be at Homeland Security, and she was defending all the murders and the killings and all that crap, really nasty, and she was the one who was always lying. Remember when Homeland Security would lie about every horrible thing they did? And then they'd come out with a lie? She was the one that kept lying for them. Well, she's now on CNN, God bless CNN. And today she goes, oh, well, it's commonly accepted in law enforcement that 86 is a mafia term or something, or a gang term, and it means to kill. And everybody knows that's what it really means. I think they went to the grand jury, and the grand jury they got grand jurors that may not have heard the expression or may have heard about it, but they don't use it. And they got up there as the U.S. government and said, oh, you may not know this, but in law enforcement, it's commonly accepted that 86 means assassinate. And because he's the former FBI director, clearly he meant that's what he meant, because he knew that that's the real meaning of the word. Well, if you tell a grand jury that, the grand jury was like North Carolina, it was somewhere near the beach. If you tell a grand jury that, the grand jury's going to go, well, okay, I don't know, but they told me that in law enforcement, that's the only meaning of the word, and he's law enforcement, so he must have meant it. I mean, guys, again, it's not just ridiculous. I'm glad that the case is going to be thrown out, and it will be thrown out. What is incredibly disturbing is that we are sinking into dictatorship, and we are sinking into fascism. We now have nonstop use of the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate and try to imprison people who simply make the President of the United States uncomfortable because he doesn't like them. That is fascist. That is akin to communist China. That is akin to the Soviet Union. These guys are no better than the Soviets. They're no better than the communist Chinese. This is, I mean, I cannot, there should be mass resignations from the Department of Justice over this. If you work at the Department of Justice or the FBI, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourselves working for a fascist organization at this point, because that's who you are and that's what you're doing. And I have nothing, and I mean, people, some of you who watch the show might know, I don't know. I tend to be very supportive of law enforcement. I was not one of the defund the police people. That was not me. I tend to be pretty damn hard on crime. I like throwing people in prison. I really do. But this kind of stuff is fascist. This is un-American. I mean, it is hard to say sufficiently how freaking dangerous this is, what he is doing. It really boggles the mind. The White House today, communications director, that really nasty guy who's the communications director, who's the boss of Caroline Leavitt, who wears the cross a lot, he posted a tweet today. And mind you, the White House is trying to argue that Democrats are too negative and divisive and it's causing murder, right? The White House communications director today tweeted that Jimmy Kimmel, the comedian, is a shit human being. A shit human being, the White House tweeted today. The second story we're going to talk about is the White House is trying to get fired a comedian again. Melania Trump doesn't like the comedian, and Donald doesn't like the comedian. So they have literally harnessed an entire government agency to investigate the parent company the comedian works for. Disney and ABC are now under investigation by the fascists at the FCC. A multi-million dollar, multi-year investigation by the FCC. The federal government is going to rake Disney and ABC News over the coals because Donald and Melania don't like a comedian who works for them on late night TV, Jimmy Kimmel. This is fascism. This is communist China. This is Soviet Russia. It's Germany, World War II. But again, going after Kimmel because, as Melania said, he's mean and negative and divisive. The White House communications director today, in a tweet, the White House, in a tweet, said Jimmy Kimmel is a shit human being. The White House said today. The White House is tweeting words like that. First of all, again, are you animals? Are you animals that this is the way your government speaks? That this is the way the White House speaks? What kind of a child would speak like that? I mean, no adult, no normal adult would speak like that. A shit human being from a White House Twitter account? Are you animals? It boggles the mind. But yeah, so the FCC is now investigating Disney and ABC to take away, ABC is one of our huge news networks, to take away ABC's broadcast networks licenses because they won't fire the comedian that Donald Trump thinks is mean. Remember J.D. Vance went to Europe a couple months ago and yelled at the Europeans, the Brits especially, lectured the Europeans about how you don't have freedom of speech in Europe. Remember J.D. Vance? Right? You don't have freedom of speech in Europe. And now what are we doing? We're trying to shut down entire multinational companies, conglomerates, because Melania Trump thinks they're offensive. This is sick stuff. This is very sick, very dangerous stuff. The ballroom. Oh, hang on. Let me show you this. The ballroom. So the ballroom shooter, let's look at the shooter first. So, you know, there was the shooting this weekend at the Washington Hilton. Actually, we don't know if it was a shooting anymore. Again, Donald Trump's White House lies. We're now finding out that there may not have been a shooting this weekend at the Washington Hilton. They kept saying the guy opened fire. Now it looks like maybe he didn't open fire. For example, they mentioned some of the charges yesterday. The charges against the guy did not include shooting a Secret Service agent. Remember, one of the Secret Service agents got shot in the chest. Well, that's a pretty serious charge. You shot a Secret Service agent in the chest? That wasn't included in the charges yesterday that they made public. A number of, including my friend Garrett Graff, a number of observers observed and said, wait a minute, like, wait, if you shot a Secret Service agent, that would be like the first or the second. The first charge would be threatening the president. The second charge would be shooting a Secret Service agent. Why is that not one of the charges? Secondly, thank you, MC. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Appreciate it. Secondly, they were saying that if the Manda, get rid of that person, please, on Twitch. We have like a crazy person on Twitch. He absolutely is. He absolutely is. And the fact that you don't realize it speaks volumes as to who you are, but it doesn't speak volumes to the rest. The entire country and the entire world knows who Donald Trump is. And they know historically what he is emulating and what he actually has expressed adulation for. Donald Trump, thank you. Donald Trump got into serious trouble because he told his generals, he told his chief of staff that he wanted generals like the H-man from World War II. Admired, and his top general was like, sir, you really can't say anything admirable about the H-man from World War II. Very bad. Thanks, Manda. See if you can delete their comment too, although maybe it's already deleted. I don't know. So I was saying the shooter. So we don't know if he did the shooting. One thing, the shooter himself, I believe the alleged shooter, we don't know if he shot, alleged assassin, I guess, in his manifesto, I believe referenced, I read something today that I think was the manifesto. Thank you, MC. He referenced using buckshot instead of whatever else one can use in a shotgun. And I think he said buckshot because he didn't want it to go through the wall and hit somebody unintentionally. What I read was, if they said that they weren't sure what he used to shoot or whatever. And one thing I read today said, well, if he used buckshot and the buckshot hit a Secret Service agent in the chest, it's very easily recognizable what buckshot is once it, that's okay, Amanda. It's very easily recognizable what buckshot is once it hits a vest, right? A bulletproof vest. So the thinking now is, did friendly fire hit the Secret Service agent? Did this guy not have time to get a shot out? For example, the video we all saw showed the alleged assassin running through the hotel, but we didn't see him actually opening fire. Anyway, it's a small point, but, you know, as always with these guys, wouldn't it be nice to get the truth? I think the whole affair was real, but it's already sounding like they're embellishing. And that's what I don't like. Don't embellish a story this important. Now, speaking of ballroom, as you know, Donald Trump is now using, well, they're using the shooting, again, wasn't clear if it was a shooting. They're using the incident this weekend to try to attack Democrats, to try to take comedians off TV, to try to investigate companies. They're probably going to try to throw innocent people in prison, I'm sure. And one thing they're doing is Trump is now, this blew my mind last night. This was breaking news last night. You know how Trump was pushing the last couple of days? Oh, we need the ballroom. It's not safe out there. We need the ballroom. We can't host this event in a hotel next year. He totally lied. The event hosts 2,500 people. The ballroom that he's building hosts 1,000 people. So his ballroom won't be able to host this event anyway. So he lied, right? He said, because of this event, we need the ballroom. It's not safe to hold the event. The event will not fit in his ballroom. Second of all, the event is a private event. It wouldn't go in Trump's ballroom anyway. It wouldn't go at the White House. It's a private event. Third, Donald Trump has refused to go to the event for years. So they wouldn't hold it at Trump's White House if Trump wasn't going. Fourth, if we have to build the ballroom because it's too dangerous to go to hotels because somebody tried to attack, somebody planned an attack on Donald Trump at a hotel, then why is Trump still holding events at his resorts when someone literally was waiting in the bushes to kill him at one of his resorts in Florida? Donald Trump, I forget whether it was Doral or the other one, I think it was Doral, his Doral resort in Florida. That was the one where the guy was hiding in the bushes for like 12 hours and was waiting for Trump to come through so he could shoot him. And the Secret Service, fortunately, got the guy. Trump still goes to, literally, an assassin was on Donald Trump's resort. Literally. The same storyline as the hotel this weekend. We can no longer hold events at hotels or anywhere because it's not safe. They must be at the ballroom. But Donald Trump can continue to hold events at his own resorts. In the next coming weeks, Donald Trump is holding the G20 summit. 20 world leaders, right, are going to, 20 world leaders are going to be coming to this event at another golf course in Florida of Trump's. We already know Trump's Florida golf courses have assassins on them. They already had one. Why is it okay to bring 20, not just one, 20 world leaders to a Trump golf course in Miami when we already had an assassin on a Trump golf course in Miami? Why is that okay? But we can't go back to a hotel because we had an alleged assassin at a hotel. He's lying. He's lying because, you know why? Because God forbid Donald Trump doesn't make money off of the G20 leaders because they're coming and they have to pay for the hotels and they're going to pay for Donald Trump's own hotel, right? So that's going on with it. But the news we found out last night, Lindsey Graham, Donald Trump's little buddy, held a press conference. Remember this ballroom was going to cost like $250 million, then $300 million, now $400 million? And they began work on it months ago. Remember, they knocked down the east wing of the White House, all this crap? The ballroom is going to cost $400 million. Donald Trump assured us it's been paid for. It's been paid for by private companies, Amazon and all the rest of them. Guess what they said last night? Republican members of Congress went public last night and said they're going to pass legislation to provide $400 million of taxpayer money to pay for the ballroom. They lied. He fucking lied. We're paying for the ballroom ourselves. And people say, did you not expect? I know he lies. I know he lies. But this was such a specific lie. This was such a specific lie. He named the companies. He said he had the money. How much money? $400 million. He named the companies. They didn't get the money. Literally, Lindsey Graham and the Republicans. I don't think I grabbed that video. It's all over the internet. You can find it. I'm going to say, I don't think I grabbed it. Lindsey Graham and the Republicans came right out and said, we are going to pass legislation to provide $400 million in taxpayer money for this. My favorite part of that, was Graham goes, we'll pay for it with customs duties. They're going to raise taxes. Remember, customs duties are taxing you for the stuff you buy that comes from abroad. He wants to pay for it by increasing the price of goods you buy. they're going to raise inflation. They're going to pay for Trump's ballroom by adding taxes to the products you and I buy at the store. I mean, like, so it's not only are they wasting money on the ballroom, not only did they lie about the ballroom, but the solution for how they're going to pay for the ballroom is you and I are going to pay for it with higher taxes. I mean, no, this outrages me. Now, the one good thing of this, a number of reporters were talking about this. Independent voters, voters in the middle, who are the really key voters that Republicans need in the fall elections, they hate Donald Trump. They hate him viscerally. I mean, Democrats can't stand him. But voters in the middle who go both ways, voters in the middle who supported Donald Trump, right, 2 years ago, they loathe him. And one thing voters in the middle, independent voters, really loathe, the ballroom. It polls horribly with independents. They think it's a waste of money. They think it's a vanity project. It's Donald Trump trying to be a dictator and get his name on everything. I mean, guys, inflation is starting to go out of control. Hey, Trevor, inflation is starting to go out of control. And the budget, forget it. We're at $39 trillion deficit. I mean, we have we have a $2 trillion deficit annually. We've got a $39 trillion debt. $39 trillion debt. And these son of a bitches, just Republican want to spend, and Trump want to spend money like drunken sailors, as we say. Just non-freaking stop. Another $400 million, oh well. Oh well. You know what, by the way? I'm actually a little suspicious of what's going on. What if the reason Donald Trump now needs we're getting to that tree. What if the reason Donald Trump now needs $400 million in taxpayer money to pay for the ballroom isn't that he didn't already get $400 million from private business? What if he was telling the truth? What if he got $400 million from private business, but now the ballroom is costing $800 million? Thank you, Lizette. I think that might be what's going on. Now, he could have easily lied about the money he got from the private sector, but you know Donald Trump. I want it bigger. I want more gold. I want a hospital. Remember he said he's going to put a hospital underneath it. I want a hospital underneath it. What if he wants a gym? I mean, what if the reason they need $400 million is because he just wanted more crap? He wanted more gold, right? The arch too. Actually, that's a good point too. This could be the arch. He could be wanting the money for something else. And it's just horrific stuff. The brief. Oh my God, I was going to show you some of this. Hang on. The brief for the ballroom. So they've been, remember the judge put the ballroom on hold? The Department of Justice writes to the judge and says, "Oh, the shooting proves we need the ballroom now to protect us," right? Even though the event that was at the shooting can't be in the ballroom because the ballroom's too small. I want to read you, we're putting on the Trump wig for this. I want to read you my Trump wig. I want to read you the first paragraph of the legal brief that Trump lawyers at the Justice Department sent to the judge to convince the judge that the judge needs to immediately let them keep building the ballroom. I kid you not, this is real, okay? They're telling the judge, the judge has an injunction on the building. They're saying, "Judge, stop the injunction. You've got to let us build the ballroom. The shooting proves why." Let me read this to you. It's insane what this says. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is a beautiful name, but even their name is fake, all capital letters, because when they add the words "in the United States" to the National Trust for Historic Preservation, it makes it sound like a government agency, which it is not. In fact, the United States refused to continue funding it in 2005 because they strongly disagreed with their mission and objectives. They are very bad for our country. The word country is capitalized. Donald Trump wrote this. Donald Trump edited this. They wrote it like one of his tweets where he miscapitalizes the words. Literally, the word country is capitalized. They stop many projects that are worthy. That is pure Donald Trump right there. It's improper use. They stop many projects that are worthy and hurt many others. In this case, they are trying to stop one that is vital to our national security. National security is capitalized. And the safety, capital S, of all presidents of the United States, both current and future, their families, staff, and cabinet members. They were asked by the United States military not to bring this suit because of the top secret nature, top secret's capitalized, of the important facility being built. They were shown detailed plans and specifics, hold on a second. But this did not deter them because this is a legal brief from the Department of Justice to a court asking them to lift the injunction on the building of his ballroom. I want you to listen to carefully of what Trump had them write here. This did not deter them because they suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, commonly referred to as TDS, as noted by Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, and are represented by the lawyer for Barack Hussein Obama, Gregory Craig. He wrote a Twitter tweet, one of his insane tweets. He had them write one of his tweets as a legal brief to the court. This is a legal brief submitted to the court. I can't imagine what the judge is going to do when he reads this. This is Trump. They suffer from, the National Historic Trust suffers from Trump's derangement syndrome, commonly called TDS. No, this is, honestly, this is like dementia is what this is. I mean, this makes it look like somebody crazy ordered them to do. It is incredibly unprofessional. I can't imagine the judge is not going to be, unless it's a Trump judge, the judge is not going to be happy with this. I doubt it's a Trump judge because the judge wouldn't put a hold on it. Not cool at all. There's a lot more news today, guys. Gasoline prices jumped to $4.19 a gallon on average today, the highest since the war started. Gas prices in America on average for regular were around $2.73 a gallon in January before Trump decided to go to war against Iran. They went from $2.73 to $4.19. Thank you, son, for the gift. Keep them coming, guys. Oil prices spiked again today. The U.S. is up U.S. crude is up almost 3.7% today. Brit is up almost 2.7%. Actually, how much is that? Let's see. 419 minus 273, 373 plus, what was that? 50, 45, 145 divided by 2. Actually, that's 50%. Somebody said that's not much. It's a 50% increase in gasoline. By the way, thank you for the gift there. It's a 50% increase. Thank you, Heather, for that. 50% increase in gas prices in the last 2 months. I love that. That's not very much. Well, all I've got to say to that is, if you don't think a 50% increase in gasoline prices is very much, then you be sure to vote for people like that who got us those gasoline price increases, because they don't think a 50% increase in prices is very much in 2 months. Okay, well, I happen to think a 50% increase in prices in 2 months for something every American needs is a lot, especially when you chose to let those prices go up. I happen to think that's a lot. So, yeah. What else we got? Iran. Trump claimed, oh, yes, 1 minute before the markets opened today, 1 minute before the markets opened, Trump claimed, Iran has just informed us that they are in a state of collapse. They want us to open the Hormuz Strait as soon as possible as they try to figure out the leadership situation. I read that and I went, sure. Iran reached out to the U.S. and said, oh my God, Donald, sir, we're in a state of collapse. Please reopen the Strait of Hormuz. He literally did it at 9:29 a.m., 1 minute before the stock market opens in New York City. 1 minute, guys, or before the markets open in New York City. Clear, once again, clear. It didn't work. I think stocks still went down today, but clear stock manipulation. And of course, total lie. King Charles is in America today, spoke to Congress. I've got a couple things I want to show you. First of all, let me show you hang on a second. I did have more. I was going to say, I did have more of these. Hold on. I've got a few more videos I meant to show you. Where is this? That should do it. Yes. I've got a couple more videos to show you. This is, first of all, when Trump met the king at the White House, he did his bullshit macho thing. Remember how Trump, he did it famously to the Japanese prime minister, but he did it to Justin Trudeau at Canada and others, where he grabs their hand and then yanks them towards him to try to make them, it's this weird thing he does. He did it to the king. The best part is the Brits clearly prepared the king and the king did it back. Check this out. It's hilarious. What? See, he's pulling. Look, there he goes. He's pulling. The king is pulling back. Look at this. They're still pulling back and forth. And the king is just holding it. I'm going to show you guys. Check this out. It's fabulous. Okay, he pulls a little. Now they're really at it now. But watch the king. The king's going to pull again. There we go. King pulls it in. Is that I'm going to show you one more time. Insane or what? Look at this. Watch, now they're full doing it. King pulls. King's going to pull again. King pulls it in right now. There we go. And Trump's trying to pull. I mean, he absolutely freaking hilarious. God bless the British diplomats. They briefed him. They briefed him. I mean, they briefed him. It blows my mind. They prepared the king for Trump's physical rudeness, and the king won. Trump's got to be older. I think the king, 77. How old's the king? Alexa, how old is King Charles?
King Charles is
77. Well, I'm surprised I got that one right. He's 77. I just remember him being a little younger than I thought. Yeah, Trump is 79 or 80. 88. So yes, that was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. Let me see what else I have here. Trump. Oh, so King Charles. Do I have this? Hang on, let me pull this up.
250 years ago, or as we say.
Oh, this was funny. Hold on. I'm going to play you a couple clips from him speaking today before Congress.
250 years ago, or as we say in the United Kingdom, just the other day.
I like that one. 250 years ago, or as we say in the United Kingdom, just the other day. It's also making fun of us, because 250 years ago, our country was founded, so it's kind of being funny.
Roots go further back. Go even further back in history. The U.S. Supreme Court Historical Society has calculated that Magna Carta is cited in at least 160 Supreme Court cases since 1789, not least as the foundation of the principle that executive power is subject to checks and balances.
That was interesting. That was about Trump. So that was about Trump. Yeah, that was wild. See, was that wild? Hang on, there was Sasha, stop. Do I have a third one? I don't have a third one of him. That was the one that really blew people's minds. That he basically suggested, you need to be careful with your government. I mean, hey, stop, please stop. That was very interesting. Hang on a second here, was this?
Majestic inheritance.
This is Trump. He gets the king. That's Melania. I think that's the Melania. He gets the king on the White House lawn. 1 second, Painter. Gets the king on the White House lawn and reads a speech. I want you to listen to this speech. Trump has no idea what he's reading. It sounds like he does not. It's bizarre. Listen to this. I'm actually going to zoom in on his face, too.
Majestic inheritance, their veins ran with Anglo-Saxon courage, their hearts beat with an English faith in standing firm for what is right, good, and true. In recent years, we've often heard it said that America is merely an idea, but the cause of freedom did not simply appear as an intellectual invention of 1776. The American founding was the culmination of hundreds of years of thought, struggle, sweat, blood, and
the American founding was he's reading it the way a foreigner who's English, he's reading it the way I read Greek. When I've got to read Greek for my Greek class, and I kind of am reading each word individually because I can't read the whole sentence. I can't quite read the whole sentence as a sentence. I've got to kind of read each word. And then I stop myself and go, oh, blah, blah. I go, oh, it's blah, blah, blah. That's right, right? He's reading each individual word. I mean, he's reading like Melania reads. That was cute. I mean, it's a little weird. It's a little weird, right? It's a little weird. I'm sorry. So what was that, Dean? Hang on. Dean says, with King Charles visiting Trump, where do you see current U.S.-UK relations now, and where might they be heading? Wow, that's a good question. Sorry, Dean had a question on YouTube. Paid questions get priority, so thank you for that. You're in the same boat as the rest of us. Or not as the rest of us. Well, in 2 weeks when I get my Greek citizenship, I'll say the rest of us. You're in the same boat as the rest of you in Europe and around the world. Trump doesn't like you. Trump has no respect for you. There is no special relationship between the Brits and the Americans under Trump. There's no relationship at all. He doesn't like any of you. He's not in this job for the United States. He's in this job for the Trump family to enrich itself and for him to get revenge. Well, he enriches himself monetarily, and he enriches himself by going after his enemies because that enriches his ego, right? And it enriches his narcissism or whatever. So it's all about enriching himself. That's sort of the problem. Is your relationship is non-existent. NATO's relationship is not. First of all, you're no better than. I mean, I love the Brits. You're no better than the rest of Europe now. Britain used to be number one for American allies, just were. It always, I mean, for a lot of reasons, historically, ironically, right, because we were British, but we also had a revolution, so it's kind of funny that we're friends, but we are. They've always been our best friend. I mean, Canada too in its own way, but Britain's been our best friend. And the language thing doesn't hurt, because it's like the Canadians too. There's more of a simpatico, or Australians, right? But in any case, that's not true anymore for Trump. He doesn't care. So the relationship's dead as far as that goes. I think there's two issues. One is, what do you do with that if you're British or any other country in the world? Stop, please. All right, stop. My dog is begging for food, but I'm not giving her food anymore because this started at the beginning of the show. Remember I slip her little snacks to keep her quiet? She started before the show begging for snacks, so I've realized that was a mistake. I was saying two things. One, knowing that Donald Trump doesn't care about you, knowing that Donald Trump is happy to crap on you, any of our allies, and knowing that he also is happy to violate any agreement he makes with you, military, economic, what do you do? I don't know that that means don't make any deal with him, but I think you should consider making a deal with Trump akin to making a deal with the Soviets, making a deal with the Russians. You are making a deal with somebody who hates you, somebody wholly untrustworthy, making a deal with Saddam Hussein or the Iranians, somebody you shouldn't trust. And if you can verify it in some way, then maybe it's worth it. If it's a deal with the devil in some ways, yes, but it's a deal with the devil, meaning they may very well violate this deal at any time. They may break the deal at any time. They may go to war against you, even if you're in a military relationship. If you think you can get enough out of the deal, even knowing he might do that, then do it. But that's where you are in terms of relationship. You can wait until it's over, but until when he leaves, when he's 86, gone in after 2.5 years with the next president. The problem then becomes, why should you trust us ever again, right? Let's say the next president is either a normal Republican, if they exist, or a normal Democrat, which they all exist, in terms of international relations and allies. Well, maybe we have a normal Democrat as the next president who once again thinks of Britain as our top ally, who likes Canada, who likes, right, Europe. who believes in NATO, but we will always be one election away from electing a president who hates you and who will crap on you. You now know. I mean, this is the spouse who cheats on you, right? Somebody had said once years ago, and I remember I don't remember the exact quote, but I remember the concept stuck in my head. And they basically said, and I mean, again, a lot of people in relationships, right? Somebody cheats. A lot of people are able to get by that. But the quote somebody said to me was, once somebody cheats on you, well, two things. Once they said, once somebody cheats on you, you're always going to be worried about them cheating again because they're a cheater. The second thing somebody said, which I thought was interesting, is be very careful if you start a relationship with somebody who's cheating on their spouse and then they leave the spouse for you. Because they were cheating on their spouse for you. Why won't they cheat on you for the next person who comes along? And that's my concern with this, is you now know that America cheats, right? Previously, you never thought America would cheat. You never thought America would turn on you. You never thought America would go to war with you, Europe. Now you know we would. Now we're the cheating spouse. We cheated on you. We cheated on the economic agreements. We cheated on the military agreements. We cheated on your love. And now you know that's who we are. And even though we'll love you in 2.5 years, we'll love you for 4 more years, we're one election away from cheating on you again. And there's no way to fix that. Again, I guess, I mean, the real problem for the long term, Canada learned this. Canada is now diversifying its relationships, economic and defense. I mean, Canada was relying on America as the #1 economic partner in economic integration and everything else. Canada, and it's really sad because it's going to affect both of our countries economically. Canada, I don't think can risk trying to integrate economically with America. I think it's too dangerous for you. You cannot be economically dependent on a psychopathic country, unfortunately. And that's what we've proven to be, So it's very bad. And militarily, we've also shown, I mean, can you trust us militarily? No. Can you trust Democrats? Yes. Can you trust normal Republicans? Yes. Are there any normal Republicans left? I don't know. Donald Trump's not one of them, though. Can you trust Donald Trump to come to your defense? No. If you're Vladimir Putin, maybe. But if you're Europe, no. Korea, no. Thank you, Blue, for the gift. Keep the gifts coming, guys. So, yeah, that was a long answer, but that's my fear, Dean, unfortunately. More news here. We've got King Charles joint session. Hold on here. What am I doing here? Oh, my God. That was the first page. Oh, my God, the show. We've already gotten to the end of the show. That was my first page of notes of 4 pages. Oh, my God. I told you there was so much bad. I'm going to summarize the rest of my notes. That was the first page of 4 pages of notes of bad news, and we're already at the end of the show. I try not to go too late. You're right. I'll go till 7:30. Thank you. Thank you. Something didn't make sense. I'm like, how would you? I'll go another 15 minutes. Thank you for saying that. Thank you, Liz, for Angeline and Liz for the gifts. Yeah, well, we only went an hour because I started late. I'll go until 7:30, yeah. In other words, we'll go another 15 minutes. But still, this went very fast. I try not to do more than an hour 15 because I found that I kind of lose my voice. And I was at a restaurant this weekend. A little bit more here. Oh, God, Paramount. So Paramount has, Paramount that is doing this merger, right, where the evil Trump people, the Trump allies, are buying CNN and everything else. Paramount, I hate this so much. Help me out. These mergers are driving me crazy. The Paramount merger is the one of the Trump guy buying CNN. Tell me that I'm not wrong about this. I'm right about this. Right. Paramount and Warner, right? Paramount and Warner is the CNN one. Thank you. It always confuses me, these deals. Ellison, exactly. So this is the Trump ally who bought like CBS, and now they're going to buy CNN as well. They announced today that they're looking for, so the deal, they're doing the merger deal, they're looking to have 49% ownership of the new company by Arab dictators. They're going to have Arab like Middle Eastern oil dictatorships are going to own almost half of this huge conglomerate that is going to control two American news networks, CNN and CBS. They're going to be half owned by Middle Eastern dictators. Are they insane? I mean, absolutely. And you know whose idea that had to be, right? Whose idea do you think that was, right? Who do you think? That was sick stuff, guys. Bulwark reports Donald Trump is putting his face on U.S. passports. That's never happened in American history. A president has never put his face on passports. Donald Trump is putting his face on U.S. passports to commemorate the bicentennial. No clue. I think we're going to be stuck with these because here's the thing. State Department goes, oh, it's just a certain number for the bicentennial. A certain number for the bicentennial. Do you think this year's the bicentennial? Not bicentennial, it should be bicento, whatever the fuck it's called, 250-year anniversary of the country. Do you think Donald Trump's State Department is going to put his face on the passport this year, but next year, when the 250th anniversary year is over, they're going to remove Donald Trump's face from the passport? You really think next year someone's going to go, sorry, Mr. President, I decided to remove your face from the passport because the 250th anniversary is over? That's not happening. It's not happening. This is going to, and my passport runs out in 2028 in the middle of the freaking Trump's last year. I'm going to have to get a passport with his stupid face on it. I will absolutely buy a new one. Or a friend of mine said, use your Greek passport, which, of course, but I've got to use the stupid U.S. one to come back into the country. Really ridiculous. But so I think this is going to be another thing that Democrats are going to have to basically pay for out of the federal budget and tell people, if you want to renew your passport, you may. Sick stuff. I don't know if I can renew it now. Oh, first of all, it's already dangerously late. Because if I renew it now, I may get Trump's face on it now. And I don't know that I can. I think I would have to lose my passport and say I've lost it. I don't even know. I don't know the way, and I'm also a little afraid of doing it now and getting the new one. Imagine I do it now and I get the new one, right? Oh, I'd also probably have to pay $150 for it, but anyway. All right, Trump lied about the reflecting pool. Remember the reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial? Trump wanted to paint it blue. Thank you, thank you, Tarad. Thank you for the swan. Appreciate that. Remember, Trump is painting the pool, the pond, the really long pond in front of the Lincoln Memorial. He's painting it blue because it should be blue. Pool blue. I watched a video the other day, and Trump said it's only going to cost $200,000. I think he said $100,000, $200,000. I remember that's how much it was. Price tag came out today, $2 million. $2 million. Because Donald Trump, on a whim, thought the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial should look like a swimming pool. He just spent $2 million, again, not appropriated by Congress. Guys, the amount of money this guy is spending, is obscene. It is absolutely obscene. Total waste of money. We don't have enough money. My health insurance is going up $4,000 this year because Donald Trump didn't want to renew the subsidies for Obamacare. But we don't have enough money for that. But we have enough money for all of his stupid, we're going to do a new passport with his photo on it. We're doing a new coin with his photo on it. We're doing a new ballroom that's costing us $400 million out of taxpayer money now, right? We're doing all this crap. $2 million for the stupid pool that didn't even need to be done. And these are all things we're going to have to reverse when a Democrat comes to office because he's going to do all of these things. The freaking ballroom's going to be destroyed. The arch is going to have to be knocked down. I mean, unbelievable. New York Times. I have to read you this one. New York Times. Listen to this. New York Times today. To build his mammoth White House ballroom, President Trump last summer chose Maryland-based Clark Construction. Since then, Mr. Trump has repeatedly sung the company's praises, even saying he wanted it to refurbish projects all over Washington. In January, government documents show the Trump administration secretly gave the company a no-bid contract to do another job at a sharply inflated price. A no-bid contract means you give the government, you give a company the contract without putting it for a bid. Like, governments have got to put projects out for people to bid in general, so you can pay a better price, and so you don't just give it to your friend, because this is the federal government. They didn't do that. They gave the company a no-bid contract to do another job at a sharply inflated price. The National Park Service wanted to repair 2 ornamental fountains in Lafayette Park across Pennsylvania Avenue from the White House. The Biden administration in 2022 had estimated the work would cost $3.3 million. But Mr. Trump's government agreed to pay Clark $11.9 million to do it, and later added tasks that increased the contract to $17.4 million. It's a $3.3 million job. Trump inflated it to $17.4. Gets better. Listen to this. Stephen Kirk, an independent consultant who estimated the cost of the fountain repairs for the National Park Service. So the guy who did the estimate of how much it should cost that we would have used for the bid, for the bid contract, Stephen Kirk, an independent consultant who had estimated the cost of the fountain repairs for the National Park Service, said, "They just took the cover page of my estimate and just added a bunch of money onto it. I didn't add those extra millions on there." They took the official estimate the guy did and just threw more money on top of it. Trump did. Why? Who knows why? One of the monies they added on, they added $1 million extra for inflation. But the New York Times found they added it twice. They didn't just add extra money for inflation. They added it for $1 million for inflation, and then later on in the contract, they added another $1 million for inflation. Why was this construction company getting so much money, no bid, and far more than the estimate? Excuse me, this is five times the estimate. 5 times the estimate of how much this needed to be. 5 times. Now, I will say this. This Maryland company, Clark Construction, had better hire a very good lawyer, because I've worked in Washington for many decades, and if they don't think they're going to be testifying before Congress next January about this, I will eat my Trump wig. Stop. I will eat my Trump wig if Democrats don't haul them before Congress to testify, because this sounds very bad. And the worst part about testifying before Congress is you need a lawyer anyway, because you can get into trouble for perjuring yourself even when you don't realize you are. So this may be the first time Clark Construction had to hire a Wall Street lawyer who was a former, Solicitor General for the United States, but they got into bed with the wrong people. What else we got here? Miami Herald reports that ICE arrests of Cubans have skyrocketed under Trump as green cards plummet. Oh, the Cubans voted for Trump. Oh, well. The White House is doubling down on a proposal to rename ICE to the National Immigration and Customs Service, or NICE. President Trump first backed the idea on Truth Social as part of a push to reshape how the public and media refer to federal immigration authorities. So they've been murdering people, but they want to change the name to NICE so that when we report on them shooting people in the back and the face, like they did in December, we'll say, NICE agents shot a man, 15 NICE agents shot a man in the back. And that'll make it sound nicer when they execute American citizens unarmed on the streets of our cities. I don't think so. Hungary's, CNN reports that 2025 was the U.S.'s worst year for measles since it was declared eliminated in the year 2000. And this year, 2026, is on track to be even worse. Health experts say falling vaccination rates are a large factor. Hungary's Magyar, who's the new prime minister, or going to be the new prime minister, proposed meeting Zelensky in Ukraine, seeking a reset of ties. Israel, God bless wonderful Israel, our ally. Israel may have bought 30 ships worth of grain from Russia, illegal Ukrainian grain that the Russians stole from the Ukrainians and then sold to the Israelis. The Israelis knew they were buying stolen Ukrainian grain and didn't care. 30 ships worth. And Israel is now doubling down in not quite denying the allegation, but expressing shock that the Ukrainians would dare accuse them. So the Israeli officials are on Twitter today, not denying the accusation, which is the most amazing thing. 30 ships, guys. They've got one that arrived in their port this week and a second one that's arriving right now. And the Israeli government, Netanyahu's government, did not deny it, okay? Or thank you, GR, did not deny it, but said, how dare you? How dare you accuse us of this? What proof have you offered of this? And my favorite, the ship is still out to sea. We don't know if it has illegal goods when it's out to sea. Well, first of all, there have been 30 ships already that you've bought illegal grain from, so I think you know. Second of all, you buy grain from the Russians and you don't know where it came from? How is that you don't know where your grain came from? Really? But third, nowhere in the Israeli statement today was a denial. If you didn't buy illegal Russian grain, all you have to do is say, we wouldn't buy illegal Russian grain. People who are criminals are people who don't deny criminal allegations, basically. No, that absolutely made me sick. Finally, on a happy note, I want to show you this video really quick because it cracked me up. It was very funny. They had this was in Europe, a seagull calling competition in Europe. I want to, hold on a second. This was the European seagull screeching competition. All right, let me put this to the beginning. It was really good. I mean,
hello, seagulls of Europe!
So crazy.
3, 2, 1.
That's good too. That was good too.
I've been doing it for a long time, and it's always kind of been like a useless trick. So now I felt like, yeah, this is my time to shine. You know?
Oh, he was good too. All right. I'm not going to play. I don't want to play the whole thing, but I freaking love that. I love the woman. I've been doing this for a long time, and finally I found out about the competition, and I thought, ooh, now is my time to shine. I just thought that was absolutely wonderful. Was it Belgium? I didn't pay enough attention. It's in Belgium. I love the Belge. Oh my God. But I love it. The thing is, they were really good. I mean, they were really good. I was a little surprised that Sasha didn't freak out because I thought when I was playing next year, I don't think I can do seagulls. I am not a great impersonator. I don't think I'm not a seagull impersonator that I know of. That blew my mind. I thought that was absolutely fabulous. Anyway, all right, guys. Now it's been an hour and 15. So that worked out pretty well. I mean, it was a lot of news today, but pretty much we got it. We got a year to practice exactly. The kid is from the UK. Which kid though? One of the kids? Oh, the last kid, you mean? They were that first one was the most amazing one. They were all a sea lion. You can do a sea lion. I don't think I do any animals that I can think of. The raven. Anyway, we did have like a raven or something, or a crow on the balcony the other day. We get these huge crows out here, but I mean, they're like this big. They're horrific. They're the size of my dog. And Sasha's walking around on the balcony, and the thing lands on my fence out there and is looking. And I was like, it's the size of my dog. I ran out there. I was like, get away from me. I was like, I do not want you near my dog. Oh my God. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to go because I try to protect my voice. We've been doing an hour 15. Thank you for joining us tonight. I will see you all tomorrow like usual, 6 o'clock Eastern time U.S. Hopefully we'll maybe mods, or maybe try to remind me maybe I'll try to reboot my computer now. That's probably a good idea. I'll do it right now so that it gets rolling, right? All right, you. Want to go out there again? What do you think? Yeah? Maybe not. It's not raining. She's looking like it's raining. All right, I'm going to hang up, guys. Good to see you. I will see you all tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow, and otherwise have a very good evening. All right, we'll do TikTok last. YouTube and everybody, you're first. Thanks, guys.